The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. It's a nearly mid-April day, kind of cloudy out there, but not too cold. We have an awesome guest tonight. He's gotten me many country and western acts, fine acts from all over the country. His name is Kayden Gordon. He's up in the beautiful little town of Winchendon, Mass. I'm going to talk to him tonight and interview him. But before we get to him, of course, we are going to read these great underwriters. So we have Personal Best Karate in Southeastern. We have Diesel Plus Unlimited in Whitman. We have the Country Whip, a new sweet shop in Acushnet. We have New England Floorscapes in Middleborough. We have Salon Giovanni in Marshfield. We have Crazy Axe's Rec Center in Hanover. We have the Hanover House of Pizza in Hanover. They make great Sicilian pizza, Greek salads. They have awesome people working there, and they deliver. We have Sharnock Auto Body and Repair in Lakeville. Great to have them back. We have Boombox in Middleborough. We have Furnace Brook Motors in Easton. The car of the week is a beautiful blue 2013 Cadillac ATS, only $9,995. We have Pals Driving School in Middleborough. You got to set up classes for July and August. Get on that on the website. That's in Middleborough. We got Bulldog Sports Cards in Middleborough. We got Simply Beautiful Salon in Kingston. They're a new one. We got Frenette and Associates, attorneys at law in Brockton. We have Kingston Auto Body in Kingston. We have Uplifted Nutrition in Taunton. We have Lynch's Towing Auto Cycle and Truck Center in Brockton. One number for towing, one number for projects. My pal Lynchy there is always looking for new transportation wheels, anything to do with wheels, transportation, junk, anything to do with that. He handles it all in Brockton. We have Rafferty's Pub in Marshfield, open 7 days. We have the Barber Shop in Whitman on Route 27. Debbie does a great job just past the center in that little building. We have One Good Credit in Brockton. We have good old Dave's Automotive in Hanson on Route 58. We have South Middleborough Pizza and Grill in Middleborough. We have Comfort Upholstery in East Bridgewater. We have Tom Auto in Middleborough. We have Haven Psychiatric Services right here in the building in Northeastern. We have the Gun Runner LLC, the Second Amendment Freedom Store in Middleborough, and Personal Service. We have Countertops Express in North Attleboro and experts in the installation and removal of quartz and granite. We have DNS Auto Works and Collision Specialists at Abington on Route 58. We have Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We have Doggy Boutique, All-Breed Professional Grooming for Dogs and Cats, run by my great next-door neighbor, Debbie Chanel in Brockton. We have Easton Fitness in the Village Shops in Northeastern. We have RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton, covering floors for 50 years. We have Hairway to Heaven Hair Salon in Norwell, Family Hair Salon, and we have Joe's Diner in Taunton. And I want to thank you guys very much. And now, officially, Mr. Kayden Gordon. I'm sitting in what looks like his living room in Winchendon, Mass. Is that it?
No, this is actually my studio.
Oh, it is?
So, yeah, I have my microphone right here. I
Oh.
can talk right into it if I want to, but
That's a big
I
one.
guess that kind of looks better. But I was going to wait till you had me on. But thanks so much for having me, Harrison. I'm excited to be here.
You know what? You might want to move the mic back. The mic is a boom mic, and it can pick up sound, but it's kind of a distraction there. That's perfect. Okay, because I can hear you fine. All right, now
Okay.
I know. So you represent a lot of people. I found you through Eric Diamond, who's a very fine musical entertainer in Los Alamos, New Mexico. And when I first, and he did the show a few months ago, and he referred me to you immediately as soon as I reached out to him, because he said everything goes through Kayden. So and then as the weeks progressed, it turns out you've given me more people to interview, and you also, I couldn't believe it, and it was fantastic, a little TV commercial on Channel 10 for your radio show on Channel 10, not public access, regular Channel 10 in Boston. So tell me about that a little bit. I want to talk about what that's about. You have a country and western radio show, right?
Yes, I do. So I have a syndicated show called The Kayden Gordon Show, Today's Best Country Mix. We're on over 150 stations all over the world.
Okay.
Here in the United States, UK, Australia, New Zealand, you name it, we're there. And yeah, that show has been doing extremely well. I've been doing it for the past 5 years. I started in 2019, and we're still going strong on it. So
yeah, wow, since 20. So wow, that's awesome. Okay, now you live in kind of in a very rural town, and yet you represent so many people. So I want to find out how did that happen? How did you start out doing that?
such a good question.
Thank you.
So I started just very at a very young age. I started at the age of 14, and
Wait, whoa,
so
hold up a second. You started doing what at the age of 14? You representing
I started
musicians
doing
all over the
all day.
country?
Yes, I started the show at age 14.
Wow. Huh. That's amazing. Well, you started that. Wait, well, wait a second. Are you talking about that radio show, that syndicated radio show that we're talking about? You started at 14?
Yes, I did.
And that was 5 years. So you're only 19?
That's right.
Wow. You're a prodigy, man. That's awesome.
Well,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I started, yeah, like I said, at 14 and now I'm 19. I'm currently going to college and getting my bachelor's in communications. So the amount of work I have is, not many people think I'm that young, but I think it's a great thing.
It
And,
is.
I'm just honored to be a part of the industry of good country music.
Where do you go to college?
Worcester State.
Oh, in Worcester.
Yes,
Okay, got it. And you majored in communications, right?
correct.
And you must have a pretty special bond with the department and with the with the other students. You kind of got to step up on most of them, because most of the time college students don't do what you do until they've done at least 4 years in school and had some kind of internship. Whereas you were probably still in high school when you started this.
I was, and a lot of it, what inspired me to start doing it was really doing it during COVID because there was a lot of downtime and we didn't have a lot of school, and so I was bored out of my mind. And I've always loved country music. I've always loved calling it a country 1025 and talking with the radio DJs there, and
Right.
just seeing how it all worked was so fascinating to me, and I just wanted to learn more. So I just happened to Google online radio shows and found a radio station. I reached out. I said, "Hey, I have zero experience. Would you be willing to give me an opportunity?" And they were so gracious enough to let me. And then when COVID hit, I just spent a lot of time, a lot of investment into what I was doing. And I don't really think I'd be where I am today without COVID because I
Huh.
would probably be more focused on high school and getting through that. So I'm super like thankful that it kind of in a way that it happened. It gave me an opportunity to connect with people and learn about independent music too, because that's one thing not many people know about. And when I had someone reach out to me for to play their song, I'm like, oh, okay, didn't know that this was a thing, like, until people introduced me to independent music, and it's been such an honor to be a part of an amazing community.
Wow. Okay. Are you a musician as well?
I songwrite,
Okay.
and I'm probably not the best singer, I probably could get better at it, but for vocal lessons, but right now I do some songwriting and throw ideas at people, and so I'm involved in that, but not really a musician.
Okay, well, that's okay. So, I mean, I've noticed you've had so many people. You just went to Nashville last month for an event
I
there.
did.
What was that about? What was all that?
Yeah, that was super fun. We had a few different opportunities. The first one, I did an event with Mary Elizabeth Jackson and Beth Holly. We partnered up with Autism Tennessee and raised well over $500 to help people that are on the spectrum to be able to be able to be doing jobs and get the support and the funding that they need for that. And that was so special to me specifically because I am autistic as well,
As am I.
so
So,
it was very special to be able to put that forward to the community and help.
I think that you mentioned that you had autism. I think that explains a lot, because those of us that, as you and I have done, we've channeled our autism in the positive direction. And the only difference is it took me so many decades to do it. I mean, when I was your age, I was totally feeling persecuted by the world, and I was even ashamed to say my name out loud. And obviously, that's no longer the case. So, and I didn't think I'd even live this long, let alone do something like this show. So the good thing is that you were precocious enough to break out of that shell early in life, and now the sky's the limit. You got so many more years to go, which is incredible.
I agree with you. I've always been and still can be that anxious, shy person. Um,
Oh,
but, I've had to learn to be able to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. And,
yep.
when I started doing this, I was the first time I've ever flown and all that kind of stuff. So all those things have been kind of, amazing opportunities. And, back to the songwriters night and raising money for Autism Tennessee. We had 18 artists that came out. And yeah, it was just a great time. And I got to also go down there and see a billboard that I was on, a big billboard, which was so cool
Of
that I
course.
found out I was going to be on that.
Wow, you're a billboard star already. That's incredible.
The agent ID, I already had a billboard on, so it's like crazy to even think that.
Yeah, and
So,
of course, as you know, I have Beth on next week, and I had Elizabeth
mhm.
Jackson on, and those and her daughters are amazing. I had them on as well.
Oh, they're heavenly singers. We call them angels. They are.
They are, I know. They both sound like together, like almost like the Carpenters. I
Hmm.
knew, you remember, who Karen Carpenter was?
Yeah, I,
I,
I I do, and I
I know
agree
it's
with you.
silly to be asking somebody that, but given your age, she was long before your time because she passed very young at 32 in
Right.
1983 from anorexia.
Mhm.
But she had an angelic voice as to those two girls, Elizabeth and Lily. That was an amazing show. Plus their videos. And speaking of videos, I know you're not a musician per se. Do you have any editing experience? Helping other artists edit their videos, or do you have your hand in that in any way? I figured you might know a little bit about editing too.
I do. I have a good basic understanding of that. So if that's within someone's interest, I know how to edit.
You do?
That's
Okay.
not really my like focus
Yeah, I
in
understand.
what I do for promotion, but I can do it if somebody wanted to hire me to do so. Yes.
Right. Have you ever done anything else? I mean, I know you don't. Say you're not really. You've done. Well, when you say you've written songs, who have you written them for? Just other people?
So I have written songs, well, kind of for other people. All the projects that I've done were my songs. They're all still my
Oh,
songs. I
okay.
just hire musicians and people to sing them for me.
Wow. Okay. And I'm sure they're happy to do it. And I'm sure they're phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Well, all right. Well, tell me what you were like as a real young kid. I mean, obviously you're still a teenager. That's amazing. But what did you aspire to as a child? I mean, like, when you're like 4 or 5 years old, what were you doing then?
When I was 4 and 5, I'm trying to go back and remember.
Well, try to remember. So people with autism, you can usually remember stuff if they have, like I have OCD, and that enables me. I can tell you what I did 50 years ago today. But
Yeah.
and you're a lot younger than I am, so I don't know if that applies to you. I guess it
Well,
doesn't
I know
apply.
I can tell you when I was 4 and 5, I couldn't talk until then.
Oh,
So if
really?
that's something,
Okay.
yeah, I had to go through a lot of ABA and stuff like that in order to be able to do that. I had I can tell you right now, I had a very hard childhood
Okay.
with bullying and this and anxiety, very bad anxiety. I still have
Right.
anxiety to this day. So with my childhood, I've had a lot of mental issues and I've overcome so much in my lifetime. And I don't think, I would be where I am without the support of my mother and my family and
Yep.
everybody around because she didn't get me like, ABA. I probably wouldn't be able to talk if I didn't have the right support with therapy and all this kind of stuff in
Yeah.
place. I don't think I'd be able to succeed as far as I am today or even get this far and, be able to do things in life that, might have been a struggle if I didn't get the early intervention that I needed at that time.
Okay, that's great. I mean, because it sounds to me like when you were born, your parents. I mean, it must have been kind of touch and go for a while. They figured you out. If you couldn't speak till you were 5, I mean, most children are talking at least 1.5 or 2 years old.
Mm. Right.
So that was almost like your midlife crisis, I think, way back when
Mhm.
and in a way, I kind of went through a midlife crisis when I was 6. So I know what that's like. Even when you're real young, you can have and when you feel anxious all the time, it's not fun. And I know that because I often feel that way even today. But I'm working on it as obviously are you, and come a long way with it. All right. Well, so now that you've gotten to this point, now what are your plans when you graduate college? Like you still got 2 more years, right?
I
Well,
do. So I actually did dual enrollment last year in high school. So I got a ton of credits off of that already. I'm by the end of fall semester next year, I'll have almost 60 credits already under my belt. So
Wait a minute. You say that again slowly. I didn't. You'll have what?
I'll have 60 credits.
Okay. What, from college, right? From Worcester State?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
But what do you, all right, but once you graduate, I mean, how do you, now the other thing is you have to budget your time for school and
Yeah.
still do what you do now
Mhm.
with your show and everything. How do you manage that? You just, I mean, I'm sure you must have a ton of homework, right?
I do, yes.
Right, okay.
It's all about time management. I gotta kind of time everything and say, okay, I'm gonna do this at this time, this at this time. It's all about the organization and time management. You don't have those two things, you can't multitask.
That's exactly right. And obviously you figured out how to do it.
Mhm.
Okay. And now, do you have a big family? Do you have like, I mean, you don't have children, do you yet? Probably not.
No.
Okay, well that's good. That frees you up. I wouldn't think someone as young as you would have children, although people as young
I
as
mean, you
you.
never know. There's so many people out there that,
Right.
get pregnant at
I know. I know.
earlier than me. So you have a very good question. I'm not, I focus on my career. I'm not into really any of that.
That's
So
good. That's good. I mean, it's great that you can stay so focused. Now, in terms of entertainment, aside from music, do you do anything else? Do you do have you ever done any acting? Have you ever done any comedy? Have you ever you ever do any art? Do you paint, draw, or anything like that? I'm trying to find out how multifaceted you are. That's what I do with every person I interview.
well, like I said, I do my radio show.
Right.
I run a radio station. I'm a songwriter. I do
Yep.
promotion, social media, website design, um, and like sending music to radio stations, helping book interviews. Trying to think what else I do. Yeah, those are like the main things that I do. I never acted. And I mean, never been really a drawer. I like to write.
Okay.
I'm a big writer. I love writing anything and everything. So I'm a
Oh,
big writer.
okay. How do you now? I mean, the fact that you represent so many people, that's got to keep you That's got to keep you on your toes constantly, and you're always booking them for events, right? What? What?
Booking events, getting them scheduled for interviews like years on
Right.
podcasts, TV shows, radio stations, YouTube
Yeah.
people, like all these different things. It definitely keeps me busy. And I think a lot of people don't realize how much work this industry goes into. I tell people all the time that if you got to be passionate about being in entertainment, music, acting, film,
Yep.
whatever they want to do in life, they have to be willing to put in all the work because it's not just going to come to you. You're not going to be an overnight superstar
That's
with
right.
millions of dollars. Not how that works.
Do you represent, aside from country and western artists, do you represent anybody else? Like, do you represent anybody in different genres of music? Do you represent any
I
actors? I mean,
do.
and if not, could there ever be a time when you would? I mean, will you expand your horizon? Will you represent other types of entertainers aside from just country and western singer-songwriters? Or not?
So I specialize in country music. That
Okay,
is like my main knowledge. I work with other genres as well. It's not just country music.
right.
It's also I do a couple pop, couple rock, Americana, folk, bluegrass. The only thing I don't really step my toes into is like R&B or rap or anything like that.
Okay. Well, that's right. You gotta do what you like, obviously. Now
Mhm.
if you've called you, I take it you're pretty tight with the people at 102.5. I guess you know Ayla Brown then, right?
I do.
Well, 'cause
I've had her on my show.
okay, because she's been on my show too.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, in 2018. So it's been a while, but she was great. And when she did my show, it was the hottest day of the summer, and she had performed 3 shows in 3 days prior to coming to do my show, on the Cape. So that was a lot of traveling too. So
Mhm.
I'm glad she's got that. She's got a nice gig over there at 102.5 with Jonathan. Jonathan, I
Yep.
can't think of his last name, but
Weird.
yeah, we're right. Is he a musician too, or is he just
I don't believe so. I can't confirm or deny that.
okay? All right. Now, when you do your radio show, I've not heard it, but I mean, you have live performances as well with musicians on your show.
Mostly interviews. Sometimes
Interviews.
they don't live perform.
Okay.
They're mainly like me playing music and doing interviews with people is like my main thing.
Okay. And how many days a week does it run, and what times a day does it run?
It runs all different times
Oh,
of the day and night because, like I said, we're on all different radio stations. So it airs at like in here at like 6 o'clock in the morning, 9 p.m. in Canada or Australia or UK, or I'm all over the place. So the best way to see my schedule is by going to my website,
right.
which is
Okay.
the Kayden Gordon show.com.
Okay. Now, when you do your show, do you talk to people live on the radio too, like all over the world? Can they call you or contact you?
Yep. I've spoken with people in all countries. I've had Greece, Malaysia,
Wow.
like I said, UK. I've done so many interviews in all different places, Nova Scotia, all over the country. It's not
Wow.
just here in the United States.
All over the country, all over the world.
Yep.
That's fantastic. So what does your summer look like now? Well, it's spring. What is it now that the weather's warming up? Like some of the people that have shows like yours might make like you made that appearance in Nashville, and I assume that you had a chance to you did like you got some sound bites from the performers down there. So I guess that's part of your deal. That's part of your deal too, especially when when the school semester ends, you'll probably be doing more of those things, right?
Yes. So, I will be doing a few things in Nashville. I'm going down there to cover CMA Fest, which I'm super excited for.
Okay.
I'm waiting to hear back on a few things with CMA Fest to get all that squared away. But either way, I still plan on going down there, so that will be super fun. And then in August, I will be in Atlanta for the International Singer-Songwriters Association,
Cool.
where multiple people have been up for nominations. So all for the month of April until April 30th, people can go to issasongwriters.com and vote for myself and Eric Diamond and Beth Holly. We're all on there as nominees, so you can go on there and do that all the way up until the 30th, and then they'll announce the finalists where they'll be sent to the judges on May 2nd. So that will be in August. And then this one's a local one I do every year in October here in Winchendon called the Winchendon Fall Festival. It's a big,
Turn your mic up.
anyway,
There it is.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not sure what happened there, but anyway, so yeah, the Winchendon Fall Festival, I do that every single year. It's October 12th. There's pretty much over 6,000 people there,
Wow.
which is super exciting. And I definitely think if you have a chance,
Come on. I'm not hearing it.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Okay. Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, great.
Hold the mic if you have to, if that's what it takes.
So the Winchendon Fall Festival, October 12th. It's from 10 to 5 this year. If you have an opportunity, for those of you in the neck of the woods that you want to travel to Winchendon, that will be on October 12th. So you guys can come meet me in person. I'll be doing that as well. So I'm super excited to be a part of that. So those are what's coming up in the horizon in the next couple months.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, that's 6 months from now. You have 6,000 people. What is it? Where do you have it? Like, is there a town square in Winchendon? I know Winchendon is the kind of town where like almost everybody knows each other. I was in there selling my book many years ago when I was in a subway there, and a whole bunch of people came in. It was right after New Year's of 2002, and everybody knew each other. So I guess, but I assume, but it's a beautiful town, so I assume there's a lot of good outdoor spots. I guess that's where you held that event, right?
So it's on Central Street, the main street,
Oh, okay.
downtown. So they block off the entire street, and there's a bunch of vendors and music and entertainment and stuff for that. So
Right, okay. That's Route 12, isn't it, or near there?
what was that?
Is that Route 12? I believe, isn't Route 12 run through
Yeah,
there?
it's in that area. Yep.
Okay. Now, did you grow up in Winchendon?
So I actually grew up mainly in Templeton,
Oh,
and then kind of came to Winchendon when I was a couple years old. So pretty much, yeah,
yeah,
I've
that
always
area.
been.
I know the neck. I know Templeton, Baldwinville. Those are the little
Yep.
towns that
Hmm.
those are the little sleepy hollow towns that, I mean, you're probably the most active member of any of those communities in terms of like publicity, public stuff, because most of those people,
Yeah.
they're pretty quiet towns. Now, I assume that you're perfectly happy doing your show from there, and I know you go to Nashville. Are you planning on going to any other venues like New York, LA, anywhere, or wherever there are other events besides just eventually once you get out of
In the
school? I
future,
mean,
yes, that is
okay,
something that we are working on. One of the things is, I'm kind of just waiting for somebody to be like, "Hey, come MC this in LA or New York," and I'll be there,
right,
type of a thing.
exactly. Yep, okay, that's fantastic. So how many people do you represent now, Bob? If you're not sure, it sounds to me like you. I can't, I mean, so many people seem to be singing your praises on Facebook that I got to figure you probably have at least maybe 50 or so, right? 50 artists, would you say?
That I manage directly, yes. I have other projects doing with different artists. Like some artists just hire me to do like send their music to radio, but some artists ask me to do them with just interview bookings. So, and then some artists ask me to full on manage them.
Okay,
So it really all depends on what the artist is looking for. So I have a whole artist roster, but some of
right.
those are not ones that I manage. They pay me to do a service, I do the service, and then that's it, type of a thing. And then there's some that are long term, and you go on there, and we get it done and help them get whatever that they need as their manager. So
Wow, that's fantastic. So all these people are paying you. You're getting paid by a lot of artists for your service.
yes, I definitely do get paid for that. Um, I'm thinking in the near future, now that I'm starting to build reputation, that the prices will go up eventually. Right now, they're very low, and I have not moved them up yet, but they will probably be going up in the next year or two. So
Do you have a staff or do you work by yourself?
pretty much just me. I did hire a third party who I absolutely love through a company called AnswerNet,
Okay,
and they have like a call center, and they act currently as my receptionist due to me not having enough to pay somebody hourly. So
right.
I go through them, and they've been super helpful. I also have my producer who does helps me edit and stuff like that, who lives in Indiana. His name's John Graham.
Okay,
So I have that. I don't have like a big team, but I have the receptionist called AnswerNet, and then I have John. So I have a small team.
okay. Now you say you have is this receptionist a person or just a group of people, or is it just an AI thing?
It's a real person.
Oh, it is.
Yes. So
Oh, all right. Well, I'm asking if you want to name that person. That's up to you. You named everyone else. If not, that's fine.
I can name that person. I won't say their last name, but one of them, her name's Tammy. Well,
Okay,
Tammy's a dedicated one, but they have a whole team of people that work closely together.
okay. And about how many in that team?
There's about 15 or 16 people.
Okay. Now, do you contact? I assume that that every day you probably contact. If do they also assist you with booking guests or booking interviews as well, or is that just basically? They're the
I do
ones
all
that
that. They just help confirm the
they
interviews. They
confirm
help
them. Okay.
confirm them and make sure. I book all the interviews. I have full control of that. So
Oh, okay. All right. So that's it. So they don't have to. So that they make. I mean, they make your job as easy as they can. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you're the one that has to do the booking.
right, correct.
Okay. Okay. And now, do you call the artist? Do you call them, or do they call you, or both?
A little bit of both
Okay. All right. Well, how many people do you have booked for, say, for spring so far?
for my show.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll say June, the mid June is when summer starts. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17 artists so far.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome. Now, when you do the interviews, do you do all? Are they all on Zoom? Do they ever come to you, in person, or is it pretty much all on Zoom, like we're doing?
All virtual, either a phone call or a Zoom, whatever they prefer.
Okay. All right. Now on your show, what I mean, now you know who the Hammond brothers are, right? I had them on last week.
I'm working with them. Yep.
Oh, you are? Okay, that's what we thought. Now they have sort of a little, they have this little comedy. I don't know. I guess it's sort of a comical way they interact. So I assume that that's always fun when you have somebody like that on your show too, right? Like that. The
Yes.
staff was talking about it here, how funny they were just as we were getting ready to do our show today. And I didn't, I thought they were funny. I like that little gig, the little bit that they do.
I think that with them doing it on stage, it's super beneficial
Yeah.
and makes the audience gravitate more towards them.
Okay. Joe, we are under 5 minutes. I thought I saw you give. Time is not up. Okay, but okay, all right. Well, I just found out within the final 5 minutes of the interview. I hope. Oh, okay. I hope you enjoyed talking to me today. And
I did.
All right. So what I want you to do, Kayden, is just like I said, give a few shouts out to people that are going to see the show, and then we'll wrap the show up with my snap and the way we began it. And please feel free to get me as many artists for my show as you can.
Awesome. Well, to those that are listening out there, hello. Shout out to wonderful Beth Hawley. Shout out to John Graham, Eric Diamond. Let's see, my family, my mom, my grandmother. Let's see, anybody from my old high school that I'm still friends with, teachers. Everybody out there, thanks so much for supporting me. And if you are new and do not know anything about me, you can go to my website, which is the Kayden, Kayden, GORDON show.com. You can also find me on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, aka X, TikTok, you name it, I'm there. You can either find me under Kayden Gordon, the Kayden Gordon Show Today's Best Country Mix. Also, if you want to hear my radio station, that's called Kayden Gordon Radio Network. And if there's any artist out there that needs affordable help promoting your music, I run KJG Media and Promotions. So you guys can always reach out to me as well. I'll also give you my email, which is Kayden, Kayden, at the KaydenGordonShow.com. So Harrison, at Topic Time, thanks for chatting with me today.
Yeah, thank you. All right, great job. And like I said, if you know anyone that might be good on my show, you know what to do. You got my digits, obviously. And you want to represent them,
do.
I'd be more than happy to
We'll
have you
give
do
you
that.
a call as soon as I got people for you.
All right. I have one last favor to ask. We're going to wrap the show up. You
Sure.
stick around and let my tech guy take a pic for Facebook, and I'll tag you in it. And if you want, you can tag me as well.
Perfect.
Okay. All right, folks. We're wrapping up another great episode of Topic Time. See you next week. Have a great week. Signing off and rolling out.